93 Network.
All right, welcome back to another edition of the Forecast. It is 3+1 tonight. We will not have King Doc on the show, but we do have a special guest, my man Charles Cole III. Glad to get him on as we review Killers of the Flower Moon. Now, just to give a little intro, we normally do like all black characters, at least one black character, and it ain't none black character in this film, but this was something that was recommended, and Charles was definitely one that he talked about it on his show, which I'll come to him in a minute. He'll talk about what he does as well. But this is a very deep topic. If you haven't watched this yet, it is available on Apple TV. It's also on YouTube, different platforms, but Apple TV is where you can, if you got the subscription already. So really excited to get into this topic, but we kind of go around the room like we always do, and we go to our guest first. Charles, how you doing? Give a little introduction to the audience.
Oh man, you supposed to mile left on me, man. Hopefully, I don't give too much or too little. I'm Charles. I've known Ben for a long time. The work that I do and around is I work in education. I run a nonprofit that I started called Energy Converters that focuses on building agency and education for Black people and a lot of other folks. And then I run a consultancy, and that's where I write my books and when I go speaking engagements and stuff like that. And you can go see all that work at charlescole3rd.com. And I only sell one book. The rest I make absolutely free. But on the other side of things, though, I'm just a nerd. I'm a nerd. I'm a tech nerd. I got the Apple Vision Pro coming on Friday. And I like movies, man. I have a theater in my crib. I love movies, and this was definitely one I wanted to expand on. So thank you, brothers, for having me.
Definitely. Wilkes, how you doing? Big screen Wilkes now, man.
Yeah, still getting used to this thing. Yeah, doing all right, doing pretty good. Ready to talk about this one because man, it is a hot one. It was a talk about brought to the forefront.
Yeah.
I don't know. Might lose some fans tonight. I don't know.
If they watched any of these episodes, they know we keep it real. It's just like watching the Dave Chappelle special and you get offended.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know why you're going. Like, you should not even go.
Right.
You feel
like you know what's gonna happen.
You know you're gonna be see us say something that's gonna rub you.
Right.
All right, A-Trap.
I'm here, man. I'm good. Long weekend, but I'm good.
Well, good to see you. Good to see you here. Definitely hope you can get some steam off if you need to in the conversation. But I'm glad to see you. I hear you. All right. So normally Doc would read the plot. He's not here tonight, so I'll go ahead and do that. It's a 2023 American epic Western crime drama film directed and produced by Martin Scorsese, Eric Roth, and Scorsese, based the screenplay on a 2017 nonfiction book by David Grann, set in 1920s Oklahoma. It focuses on a series of murders of Osage members and relates in the Osage Nation after oil was discovered on the tribal land. So we're gonna dive right into it. So we normally do give our initial thoughts. So what your initial thoughts was when you first started watching it, or when you seen the trailer. What was kind of your initial thoughts? We'll go to our guest first, Charles.
Y'all keep putting me on the spot first. Here's the thing. I don't like the reality of what happened, but I mean, it's Scorsese. Like, it's a well-made movie, and there was a lot of stuff happening. My initial thoughts is, wow, this was happening at the same time as Tulsa, which I got a lot of different thoughts about from the movie. I mean, Oklahoma was just popping during this time for people that wasn't white. And I got a lot of interesting thoughts, but overall, I mean, Scorsese is Scorsese for a reason. And so I think people acted really well in it. If you end up hating somebody, then that means somebody did good. And I do think that the breakout star was Lily Gladstone. Lily, I've seen her on Billions. I watched Billions, but this is the first time I got to really see her, and I kind of fell in love with that character. Now I think they was stupid and silly, but that I don't want to go into the actual commentary because it's only so bad you could be feeling about people when you know how vampires, you got to welcome a vampire in. So this is definitely different from Tulsa, Oklahoma. This is this Osage. They welcome these people in. So I don't want to step on nobody else's opinion. So I'm gonna just stop there. But I can't wait for us to dive into some of the more particulars of it.
Yeah, definitely. Wilkes.
Oh man. Yeah. So this one right here is definitely something I mean, even from the beginning when, kind of hinting to, let me just say this. It's like as white people, they complain about race mixing, but yet it's your very tool that you're using to pretty much wipe out somebody slowly. You're literally using race mixing to wipe out of people and take what they have by you're not even slaughtering them openly anymore. You're planting stuff here, you're doing stuff there, making it look like suicide, making it look like, oh, they got hooked on alcohol and whatever else. So it's going to be an interesting one. I'm ready to talk about this one. It's a lot to unpack. And when I saw the trailer, I was like, man, it looks really good. Of course, I knew it was going to be a long movie if Martin's behind it. And I'm like, oh, it's going to be a long one. It's going to be a long one. So, yeah, I'm ready to dive into this one. I wanted to see it when I first saw the trailer. I was like, oh, this looks really interesting. So I'm going to like this one.
Yeah. A-Trap.
My initial thoughts was, as I said before the show, American history has been put on film. We always want to talk about cherry trees and I'll never tell a lie and, freeing the enslaved people. But this was truly American history 101. This was the underbelly of the American history that we never are taught. This is why people like Moms of America. These white women are going coast to coast, border to border, eliminating books about things like this. And now you're forcing people, if you are watching something like this, you're forced to look into it. And if you look into it, you get a rude awakening.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Sure. So it basically it opens up and it gives kind of a history or kind of a description of the Osage Nation and the people, and then it's just oil just sprouting up out of the ground. I felt like that was a perfect intro to it to kind of give you a sense of, okay, this is where we're going with this. And it opened up Molly Burkhart, who's the kind of one of the central characters, which is played by, you just mentioned it,
Lily
Gladstone, right? So she's sitting down and she's talking about all these murders that are happening. So kind of as that scene is approaching and the oil all sprouting up, what's kind of going through your head, Wilkes?
Well, man, the Renaissance period is going through my head. Tulsa, Black Wall Street's going through my head because like I said, these Native Americans have this resource that you want. Now you don't know how to just kind of barter and use it. You just want to take it completely, and it's like, well, if I can get rid of you, then I can control the substance and I can control the land. It's like, it's one of those things where it's just like, when is enough, but it's not enough.
Yeah.
So
It just comes down to greed at the end of the day.
Right.
You could sum this whole thing up into greed.
Right.
What I have is not enough, so I need to take yours to make it seem like
because
make
it's like you
myself
tell
feel
me,
better.
you tell me to go do this, you tell me to go start my own thing, and then when I go start it and it's successful, now you want to take it because you can't figure out how to get yours successful.
Right.
Or ask me, hey, how did you start going about this? No, I'm just going to find a way to snake my way in or brute force. Or, hell, I don't even want it sometimes. Just because I can't have it, you can't have it.
Right. I just want to take it just because I want to take it.
Yeah, right. So, oh, man, this movie. Oh, man.
Yeah, and before I go any further, let me get to the chat real quick. We got some comments here. Kirby Alexander in the building. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate your support as always. Also, see we got Bill Conrad. He said, "Yeah, Charles. I don't know if he."
Joliet. Okay, he's not far from where I'm. I know where Joliet is. I'm in the Chicago area. I'm in Dalton, so it's a south suburb. Yeah.
Okay. So A-Trap's in Chicago too. So man, y'all definitely gotta. Y'all gotta link up.
I was born in Maywood, man. I'm an Oakland boy with Ben, but I was born in Maywood. So yeah.
West Side.
Yeah, yes, sir.
No, I mean I'm from the West Side.
Well, I'm West Suburb, but yes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. When people not from the Chicago area, I'll just say Chicago. When somebody's from the area, I can say where it is. Ben, it's like somebody being from Albany, and they'll be like, "Bro, I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area." You know what I'm saying?
Right. The same thing with Emeryville. You say Emeryville.
That's what I'm saying. What? Nobody just.
I'm like, it's between Berkeley and Oakland. Oh, okay, yeah, I know. Yeah. You wouldn't know where it was.
My mom used to live in Bellwood.
Oh, okay. That's where I was born at Westlake Hospital, which was in Bellwood. So yeah.
Yeah, we got D Great. Thank you for tuning in. Raider Kev in the building. Chief Rocker forecast without Doc. Yeah, Doc not here tonight. And then Miss Thang for use. Greed, jealousy. Yeah. That those two words sums up this entire film. And that's, I mean, we could really, cut the whole thing off, but I think obviously we dive into it deeper, but that's what it comes down to. Charles, thoughts?
Well, I had a few though, man. I think there's nuances to this story and why I think people should watch it, even if you don't like it. Like, and y'all let me know. Are we talking about the movie or are we talking about the history that the movie is portraying, right? Because I think that's two different conversations. I think.
Oh, absolutely.
But I think that the interesting nuanced thing about this was people were jealous. They were jealous and they were annoyed and they were angry and they were racist, but they were welcomed in. Like it was like.
Right, they opened the door.
Yeah, this like
open the door to your killer, basically.
The juxtaposition of Black Wall Street versus the Osage Nation, which was probably I think the richest town at its time, like in the United States, and white folks felt like they had like they deserved that, but that wasn't the crazy thing. The crazy thing was how in concert all the white people were, right? Even if they weren't committing the murders, everybody knew what was happening. And it was just like a systemic thing. But, one of the craziest things that happened was the white dude killed one of the sisters. He killed her. And then he married the other sister. And the other sister was with it. So at some point, I don't know how bad. Like if you keep sticking your hand in a lion's head, like in a lion's mouth, I mean, I'm sorry that it chopped down on you. But I mean, I think there is different, but I do have a very strong thought. I don't know if I should put this out now, but I will.
Go ahead.
This is what changed how I looked at it. And I'm not judging anybody, right? But there was that scene in the movie. And where the parade was happening. And in the front of the parade, you had the Osage. In the middle, you had the white people. And at the end, bringing up the rear, you had the Klan. So what this told my black ass, as I'm on with 4 other black men, my level of sympathy and empathy shifted. It is still there. It is still wrong what happened to those people. And, like if you got a family member and they deal with murderers and killers and then they all get busted together on some dope charges and you like, You hanging with murder, you welcoming murderers and killers in the building, fam. Like you grown. At some point,
absolutely.
you got some agency and some responsibility.
You gotta turn the finger around.
At some point, the only one that was on code was the mama and the native dude that did the monologue that was talking about the white. Them the only two people. Everybody else wanted to be close to them white folks. So,
and I think Molly from the jump, she knew what the deal was.
You want my money?
She knew it, and
absolutely.
she just I don't know. I mean, you could say she fell in love, but I think she just wanted somebody. And she was just about to settle for this dude that she knew was about to steal from her. And so you're right about that, Charles. A-Trap.
I mean, it's classic. You know, this is a microcosm of what's going on in the Black community today. No matter how many times white America kicks us in the ass, we bend over again and pick that coin up. We stand in front of the ass kicking machine and feed it quarters, and then wonder why our asses are sore. Let's just, this is 100. Let's just go back 100 years. This is 1920. Let's go back to 1820. Then let's go back to 1720. This is information that has spread throughout this nation, decade throughout decade, year by year, and you understand that these people mean you no good. But as you guys have clearly stated, no matter how bad they were treated, you could walk into a situation and say, "Hey, I know I'm about to get screwed," and then you pull down your underwear and bend over. So it is, as Charles stated, it is extremely difficult to have empathy, but you do understand simply because your people are experiencing this exact same thing.
Yeah,
and it's sad. It's truly sad. It's Anglo-Saxon idolatry. For whatever reason, the people of color in this country continue to trust people who mean them no good. Even outside of this movie today, I was listening to Larry Daniel Favor's movie. A show had nothing to do with this movie, and his brother, ironically, Charles from Chicago, calls in and tries to debate with Larry about why Black people in America should support Trump. Every fact that he brought up, she shot down like a duck. And he was like, "Well, I don't care." And I was like,
"I ain't arguing."
Right. And that's the real question. Why do we continue to do it?
Yeah. And this is a great comment right here about Bill. When a person shows you who they are, believe them. And so you had, and I think you had kind of a split in this Osage area, is that you had the council who was like, "Yeah, we ready to defend it." But my thinking, I was starting to think, do they just don't want to do anything, or are they just too old that they're like, we're at this point where we don't feel like it's there's anything that we can do? Because they were meeting. It's like they were having meetings and rallies, but they weren't actually doing anything. So I didn't get the.
Yeah, and they were like trying to send somebody to Washington or something like that. But
no, it was significant though, right? So hear me, I'm being nerd dude again, but it was significant in American history because it was the birth of the FBI. At the time, it was just the Bureau of Investigation. It was the BOI at that time, and would become the FBI. So this is around the time when J. Edgar Hoover, like, this is one of the first things he got. So them sending them there and with all that mysterious stuff, because there was no Bureau of Investigation at first. That's why the local police knew what was happening. The state folks knew. Everybody, again, the white people that was in power, everybody knew. It was an unspoken understanding.
Right.
So the ironic thing is that the FBI actually helped them and helped crack this case. This is the only reason that we know, while at the same time we would go on to harass and terrorize Black people. There's a lot of juxtaposition around oppressed people. Part of the reason why I don't like the term people of color, because I don't like when you just group everybody in the same boat, like we working on the same thing or going through the same stuff, because that's not necessarily the case. Right. And I think if your Black ass would have showed up in Osage Nation, I think you would have felt like you was in Arkansas. I think you would have felt like you was in, in the Bible Belt, right? Like I think that there would have still been a disdain. Maybe people wouldn't have bothered you, but you would have been reminded early on that you was a black person that had less than and knew less than. And I don't know if that was just limited to the white people in that place, because again, in the happiest day, the happiest scene in the movie, in the parade, Osage Nation is up front. The regular white people is in the middle, and the rear, the anchor, is the Klan. And ain't nobody said nothing. Like they happy and having a good old time.
Right.
And,
Nobody stopped them. No, it was like, man, that looked weird. It was just norm.
So the council going to Washington actually worked. When Lily Gladstone's character goes, it looks like she gets cut off, but she did enough that they were like, yeah, that's a lot of murders. Like this is some when Cuz blew up the house, like when they blew up the house and he used too much dynamite, they just overplayed their hand. Right, if they had not done that, they would have effectively siphoned off all that money, though. It would have absolutely happened. But we can be mad and say what we want. But I just watched Patrick Mahomes, who I like very much, I seen his daddy and I done seen his baby. In another generation, they're gonna be like Black Ware. So we can have a lot of comments about how we feel about what somebody did in 1920, but you can look at 2020 and have your own thoughts. And I don't, you marry who you want, you love who you want. I love Patrick Mahomes. God bless him and his family and his kids. That dude's on his way to being the GOAT. I'm just saying, if we're gonna take that critical eye at them, then they ain't the only ones that want that proximity.
Right.
Oh, absolutely not. We'd be foolish to think that.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so man, Bill Hale, man, this guy was and this is all, if you look these names up, everybody, they will show you pictures of these people. It is a real story. It is not anything fictional. This is real. And Robert De Niro played the hell out of that role, man. I mean, to me, watching this, I was like, man, this is making me not like him right now, because he played that role too well. And this dude was like Mr. Insurance Fraud. Like at every opportunity, he was trying to do something to get money, and then he was paying back people. So I'm like, how much was he in debt? Was he doing this because he just wanted money, or because he owed people? Because remember, he was
probably both. But then he had the cattle. He had the cattle too. He had the ranch. I'm sure he was okay to a point.
He ended up burning that down too.
Yeah.
But Ernest, which is played by Leonardo DiCaprio, comes and visits him, and he's going to stay with him. And that was kind of how the whole thing got started. And immediately, once he started driving and he seen Molly, it was kind of a quote unquote love at first sight, but it was kind of like money bag. That's my money bag at first sight. Is what it really was kind of coming down to. But they kind of start locking eyes, and that's kind of the story kind of gets going. But the moment where her sister died. Oh, okay, let me back up. So when Bill's starting to set some things up, and he's like, "Yeah, Anna is a drunk, and eventually something's gonna happen to her." So he was so strategic when it came to this. It was ugly. Wilts, give me a thought.
I mean, even the way they just portrayed that character. I mean, the acting in here was ridiculously good. I mean, just the way it was done. But like he said, I mean, he was playing those different sides where it was, well, let me plant something here, and then once that gets rolling, let me come back, and then I'll put out some, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess not a purse, but I guess he'll put up some money, so whoever can find me these killers or whatever happened, I'll pay for what resources we need. So he was definitely had his hands in a lot of different things. I mean, he was definitely busy. He was a puppeteer there. He was definitely keeping the confusion and keeping it cloudy. But I mean, the character was done very well. I mean, I can't imagine the research, that may have gone on behind that, and just to recreate that person once again for the big screen. But no, it was done well. But shady character, craziness going on.
Yeah, dirty. Charles, you got any thoughts?
I mean, just on which part? Like
on his on just him as the character.
Oh, on Bill Hale.
Yeah.
Well, King it is how he wanted you to
Right.
refer to him. So that's to let you know a lot. I mean, listen, man, I appreciate in the movie they didn't pull it, right? He was calculated. Like again, man, like he was smart. His nephew or whomever. I mean, Ernest was an affable idiot. Like he was. That was the role. He was like he knew what he was doing, but he was like, oh wait, is this gonna kill my wife? Like, no, it's gonna slow her down. Like he was, and then he was like, I'm gonna do the right thing, but then they caught him and they talked to him. I mean, but you know, history, don't nobody tell better stories than actual history. It's a better story, and I think that De Niro is De Niro for a reason. And I think that if you look into what happened to those people, that man lived to 1962, bro. Like he got convicted for one murder. And he got let go, and then he still had his bread and was able to get his wealth, and he died in a nursing home in Phoenix, right? Like, so, you know, I would just say with these characters, man, it was an interesting, intricate kind of web that they kind of, you know, put out there. I will say this about the Ernest piece. I don't know what really happened. Let me say this because people get mad and offended about this, but in the movie, if you take the movie, if you're in the movie and you're just rocking with what the movie is saying, they were trying to also show this love story between Ernest and Lily Gladstone's character. And what was her name again? I'm sorry. I want to say her name. Molly, right? Like, I mean, I do think he loved her from the way that the movie played it. They wanted you to kind of see like that there was love and stuff there, but he was poisoning and killing her. And I think that there are some literal things and some metaphorical things. And I think I was like, well, why would Scorsese make this movie now? Like Scorsese's like a kid that grew up around the Italian mob, and him and De Niro from the same area, and like they like gang stuff. I almost cursed. I'd be cursing. My bad, y'all. But they like gang stuff, right? Like, so it's like, what made him do this? And it's like, oh, if you like the gang stuff, this is showing you how functional gangs work. Like when you have to kind of, you ingratiate yourself. You become when the mafia runs unions, like, you know what I'm saying? What run and take over than the richest oil spread, one of the richest oil spreads in U.S. history. They still have, I think, 1.5 plus billion barrels under the ground in Osage Nation. Like it's still there, right? Like, so, you know, I thought it was very, very well played. It was so much stuff happening. And just to capture all that on screen, you know, similar to Oppenheimer, where you're just covering this huge, like, historical piece, but you're trying to find the story inside of it. And Lily's character, bro, like, she loved that dude. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, and I'm gonna shut up because I know I'm long-winded, y'all. Here's the thing, and I'm gonna shut up. She would have still been with that cat if he would have just told the truth at the end. Like, she really just wanted to tell the truth.
That part is she knew. She wasn't dumb. She knew exactly what was going on.
So I mean, at some point, I just gotta let a dose be a dose, fam. I don't know what to. I can't be mad on your behalf. That's like me being mad. Wilkes, why you keep dating such and such? Wilkes is a grown ass man, cuz.
Right. You can only do so much. You can only do so well. That's the comment I made to my wife the other day. It was just like, yeah, this is happening. These murders are happening. This genocide is happening. But then on the flip side of that, hey, here's some money. Go get you some land and start you a casino. And then, you know, keep that wealth coming in. Add that to your lineage and, you know, turn the other cheek. You know, we let bygones be bygones and keep this between us. So it's like, once again, it's just like, we know the dirty dealings, but maybe
they
we can
all
get around
wanted to marry white boys, Wilkes. They all wanted to marry him. Like, this is what I'm saying.
Like, they didn't even try.
Bro, listen, one of the sisters died because her sister swooped him up. Like, so we can keep going. Like, I know somebody, and I get what Big Illinois is saying about the first draft of the script. You know, from a white man perspective, these are historic wedding like marriage certificates, bro. Like, this is not. Listen, man, in slavery, when we talk about somebody being raped, we talk about somebody being, you know, forced under duress and beatings and stuff. Like, these people were marrying these
Right.
people. Like,
Yeah,
like you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I
That's what I'm
hope
saying. So
everybody
it's like
comment
you-
has seen it. That's all I was just gonna say, bro. Like,
and this was, you know, one part I thought was interesting is that they had white people begging them. There was people coming up to them like, please, you have
Yeah.
money, help my. It's
Yep.
like they was marrying the help, really,
Yeah.
and they didn't do anything either. They just sit back in their house and know, oh, you got money, so we don't need to.
Yeah, we ain't
I
gonna
don't
worry
need to
about that
work.
part.
Yeah, A-Trap, you was shaking your head. I don't know, you got something you want to add?
Well, I was doing like this. I was metaphorically taking the gloves off.
oh,
Get
I was
to it.
trying not to be H-Rap. I was trying to be Brian, but I'm going to be H-Rap, man. And Charles touched on two things that I spoke about earlier. What I thought about earlier. I didn't speak. I was, mentally writing my notes. You guys said they were marrying the help, right? Let's you know what? Hold on, I'm starting to Scorsese. Look, let's not forget. During this period, Charles said he grew up in the mafia, and this is simultaneously 3,000 miles to the east. Vito Corleone is doing his thing at this exact same time. Let's not forget that. But he made his culture in those films, two of the greatest films ever.
yeah, that third one went.
Greatest films ever. He received a lot of backlash from his culture for making those films because you made us look like criminals. I honestly believe him, the casting of De Niro and DiCaprio being run by Scorsese is saying white people did worse. That's what I think this whole thing is about. You can jump on us about The Godfather. Yeah, Vito, Charlie Luciano and the Five Families were doing their thing, but this is what was happening as well. And let's not forget, during this same period, throughout the country, you had signs in front of restaurants saying, no dogs, no Italians, no Irish, no Jews. So let's not forget that. I believe this is saying he's holding up a mirror to white America saying, yeah, Vito Corleone, but these dudes are real.
Yeah.
The second and most important thing, one of the reasons you will marry your oppressor is because subconsciously you believe, or you've been taught to believe, for one, money is protection, which is not. And the most important thing is I can assimilate. I will take all the oppression I can get if I can stop Lil Ben, Lil Charles, Lil Wilkes from getting hurt. So I'll take on this because this child, like, remember that one scene when the white lady and the white man sitting at the dinner table, and he was like, they're all half-breeds around here. And she said, and he said, look at him, half savage. For whatever reason, our community and other communities will buy into being half savage because you think half savage means full protection. And all it means is we don't have to chase you to kill you. We're going to kill you at home. And which we saw it. And that's why I believe she was willing to accept it. I don't think he loved her at all. I do believe he was a pawn in the game. And because he was a pawn in the game, he was allowed to move. I think he grew to have some affection for her, but he realized, I'm going to get rich. Because remember, let's not forget this. And this is one of the most important things. He told everybody who would ask him, I'm lazy, I'm trifling, I don't want to work, I want to kick it and drink. That's all he kept saying. And he realized marrying her would allow me to be the most trifling, lazy bum I can be, but I'll still be rich. Because remember, he made a lot of money gambling and driving a taxi. And he went and blew it all at the card game very early. So this lady was unlimited wealth for him, unlimited opportunities to kick it the way he wanted to kick it.
Yeah, and he was robbing folks too. That was before he got with her. But one of the wackest lines he ever could have said was, "You're you got nice color skin. And she fell for it. That's the wackest line you could ever tell somebody. And I'm like, you definitely not that dumb. But I you know, let's get to some comments here. They referenced the Black Wall Street Massacre for a quick second. They did. There was a lady that was saying this is just like Tulsa.
No, they thought that the white folks was coming to massacre them like in Tulsa.
Yeah.
That's what they thought.
And that's why you marry in. Hopefully, you'll get that protection.
Yeah. There's still Fort Osage, Kansas, full of white folks with no mention of the natives. Yeah, and there's a film. I don't know if it's a film or a documentary, but they're trying to, because there were black natives, and they're trying to say, well, you're not the white people in wherever this area was, who again mixed in with the natives. They were saying, well, you're not native enough to get, whatever the benefits or the money that they get from the casino. So that's a prime example that, to A-Trap's point, if you marry in, eventually it's just going to be mostly white, and you're going to run everything and make all the rules. So
right.
Bro, they called you savages at your table, cuz. Listen, look, man. I mean, there's interracial marriages now, and I don't have no issue with it, right? Dude, marry who you want to marry. You know what I'm saying? But there's some subtleties to those things, right? Like, I mean, they weren't whispering. It's like that one looked white, and that one looked white, and that one like a savage. Yeah. Look at these little half savages, right? Well, they are savages now, right? I mean, they was kind of looking at it, and the mother was having those visions and those views and all that stuff, but they were trying to do full integration. Let me just be very clear, right? Like, there are some nuances. This is why I like Scorsese. This is why I appreciate the film. He didn't spoon feed you nothing. He treated you like an adult in it. So the one thing he didn't, he showed you but didn't tell you, like, those sisters was Catholic, bruh. Like, they was Catholic. They changed their religion. Like, they were the ones with money, but still they trusted white people that worked for them more than they trusted their own. And so they had people giving them allowances, people stealing their money on the back end, and all the white people, for the most part, even those that weren't actively, this is the other nuance, even those that weren't actively murdering and killing, right? Everybody was benefiting from it. So all these people knew. So this is almost akin to when you would hear about the slave master's wife. They were her slaves, right? Where it's like, you get to be an oppressed woman, an oppressed white woman when it's convenient, but you have benefited from this the entire time. Yeah. You have said that Emmett Till was whistling at you. You have said that this person hit on you. You have said these things. So there were white women in the movie, like at that table, who was an old grandma who knew, like, if y'all don't hurry up and hit this lick, so I ain't got to keep coming to this house.
Right,
you get what I'm saying? So I think that Scorsese was saying a lot of stuff there. I think he was just like you said, I think it was a commentary on things today and looking back at it. And the story is just an interesting story. Again, I'm not trying to take up too much space, fellas. It's just many nuggets. But it's so many nuggets in there. So again, there's the movie and the storytelling aspect, and then there's the history. I do think H, that he did love her. I think he was stupid, dog. Like, that was the point. His uncle was manipulating him the entire time, right? Like, so when they got him alone, and the lawyer was like, that ain't what happened. That ain't what you believe. You believe this. And that boy went back to his wife and told her, and guess what? She still stood with him. She stood with him the entire
she
time.
Was literally dying. She was literally dying. And she's like, where's my husband at? Like, your husband is trying to kill you. You need to get to the hospital where they're trying to take you. And I think he was in love with her, and he was scared of his uncle. Now, I think it kind of turned at that moment where he was giving her the insulin and she didn't want it. And then it was like, give her this other stuff. I think it kind of turned at that point. I think it was more of I think it became more of a control thing than it was, I'm in love with.
That's when he started using profanity, and we can't say
right. It's temper. It's temper, changed.
And that's why I think he had affection for her, but I don't think he loved her, because at the risk of trying to be preachy, you don't do that to people you love, even if it's a lick. You just milk the lick. If you love someone, you just work your number. And I do believe he was, his uncle used him. His uncle, as you guys have clearly stated, his uncle knew how stupid he was. his uncle knew he was the perfect dude to come out here and do it.
Yeah.
But I don't think he had the capability of loving anything. He loved kicking it. And as long as he was with her, I can kick it as much as I want. And then his uncle started telling him, hey, man, you kicking it off $50 now. If we get rid of it, you could be kicking it off $200. And that's what I think it was. He loved the idea of unlimited financial independence more than he even could come close to loving that woman. He didn't even love himself, if you ask me.
But Rap, can we stay there though, Rap? Because this is the scene that makes me think that he did, right? He didn't know, right? Remember, because all the white people was looking at him like, you the dumbest cat we've ever met. Remember, they was talking about this money. I love money. And he said, I love this money almost as much as I love my wife. And all the white people looked at him like, you do understand, like that's what I'm like. Or when it was like, oh, it's not gonna kill her, it's just gonna slow her down. Like, and then his uncle would be like, that, and they use the natives stereotypes against them. So every group got stereotypes. The stereotype of natives is that alcoholism, right? Like cirrhosis, alcoholism, and so it was easy to put that in there. You know what I'm saying? But I do think that it's just like, I don't know, man. Like I said, looking at the movie, and again, I'm not a historian on it. Like, I don't know all the different. That's why I'm just going off of that and the things about research. But I know people are gonna be like, you got to know the story. So again, I think that what Scorsese was trying to show this love story in it, and Lily Gladstone becomes this huge. She's gonna be this huge star because she played that role with such grace and discernment. But like, the only thing that she missed was she was blinded by the love of this dude. Like, so she was smart enough to kick those doctors out of her house. She kicked those people out, but she trusted this doofus.
Yeah, she was still taking what the doctors was giving her.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It was like,
I love it.
But they was like, my nephew's stupid. He's dumb. Like, he's dumb. There's equivalents in the hood. I've seen these equivocations in the hood. I've seen the really smart, talented girl that ends up with the cat that ain't got nothing going for him, and she happy when he got a McDonald's job application, fam. Like, you know what I'm saying? He hit me because he loved me type stuff. So again, it was very interesting. But again, now I'm putting my lens on as a black man who is like, I think that in that town, you could have lynched black people, you could have raped black people, you could have did whatever you want to. I don't think we was in the same boat. And I think that they thought that they was better than black people, which is why they were so surprised, because they thought it was the Tulsa was happening to them. And they're like, why would that? Like, her mind was like, we love these people and they love us. And I think that's the undercurrent that I thought stood out to me the most as a black person.
And that's why I said what I said. These people, that's why I said, no matter, they married in and embraced these people because they thought it was protection from the Tulsa situation. They would have.
We got wealth like they got wealth. We got nice cars like they got.
They're part of us, and we look like them. Just like you got white Mexicans. Because I used to work with this dude named Luke Lawyer. Yeah, I said your name, John. Luke Lawyer. He used to literally tell me, "No, I'm a white Mexican." I'm like. And I literally told him at work one day, so the Klan won't kill you? No, I'm white. I was like, okay. Luke Lawyer. Yeah, I said your name again.
Let's get to this comment. Eric Williams said the book is deep. It will make you angry. Just finding out what Sooners is and that Oklahoma uses as a mascot is despicable. Wanda, thank you for tuning in. Big Lanois said, I'm gonna try that line. Told me you got nice color skin. Yeah, go ahead and try that. Go ahead and try that. See what happens. The government made it no secret they were coming for everything. Damn it, who it really belonged to. They stole their land, wealth, in plain sight. Yeah. Read the book first, as always. I know that's always a line when you have a movie like this. It was sad that no one made it past 50 years old in the Osage community. It solely wiped out that community. Yeah. And Charles, don't realize you guys use the excuse of reviewing a movie in order to have a conversation. Yeah, that's true. Basically, we review movies, but it's an excuse just for us to talk, you know, as black men and talk about what's going on in our heads.
It's this sister that's part of it's this young lady that was a part of this nation. She was 14 years old. She became one of the richest people in America. And white people were literally fighting to be her mentor. Same time.
Yeah. I'm not surprised.
Of course.
So Charles, you mentioned this. The mom, she was hip to the game early. I mean, because she's obviously lived probably one of the longest in that town, and she just seen it. Like, you guys keep marrying the enemy, and I want Anna because Anna, even though Anna's a drunk, and Anna would shoot anybody. Like, Anna is not involved in the garbage that you in. That was an interesting dynamic right there with her, the mom, and even though Molly was probably the better one to take care of her, she rather would have been with Anna.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Anna loved her white dude too. I mean, she busted up the party because he didn't want to claim her. So, and he flirted with the chick in front of him. And Anna was the hood chick, right? Again, you know, I think that they tried to show these delineations between this native family and like other groups, right? Like, I think there's an Anna in every family. I think there's a Molly in every family. There's a grandmama. I don't know if she knew about the money thing, but she had a valid suspicion of white people. And I say this because it's funny, but it wasn't funny. But I was just watching it, right? It was just like Anna, the mama was just like, I'm just disappointed. All of my daughters are failures. Like, I'm disappointed in all of y'all. Like let me die. Look, she was like, I'm about to die. Like, let me die. Where's my baby? My baby is gone. It's time for me to go. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like she is the old black grandmama. She is the old Italian grandmama. She the old Mexican grandmama that's looking and being like, what are you doing to my bloodline? Like, what is happening right now? And it was just, I think because her character was so subtle and understated that her depiction is saying a lot, right? I think Scorsese's trying to say a lot through all these different characters. But it was interesting. Or, you know, and the part that I did like was when the white folks started turning on each other, when they was like, oh, we got to kill white bro. That's how the house got blown up. Like,
right. and the private investigator too that came through. Yeah.
I just thought it was.
Oh, yeah, they took care of him. Yeah, shanked him up.
Yeah, and then later to find out it was Ernest. Well, you didn't know at the beginning when it happened, but later on when they played the clip, you tell it was Ernest. So I'm like, that's when I was like, this dude is
a reread
both sides.
He was a reread. That's why it made me say when I like the mother's line. You guys are whitening up our blood. I think personally, I believe that's why they kept Anna away from the mother, because if the mother started talking, Anna might have slowed down, and then Anna might have shot everybody. Anna might have killed everybody. You know, she'd have been like, "In White Man Can't Jump." You know what? I'm gonna get my other gun and I'm shooting everybody.
But she loved that. But she loved that white band. But she loved that white boy to death. Like, this the thing, though, right? Like, she loved that white boy to death, and he was trying to play her. And you see what and you see who she left with, right? Like, she left with them. She trusted them. So again, if that's your most rebellious character, bro, then y'all ain't got no shot. Cuz I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's just
look.
I mean, they didn't have anybody that was truly standing up. It was just like we gonna literally lay here and let you have babies. It was just
like, well, like you said, you got that safety again. So, you know, I got this money, I got this nice house, so it affords me things.
And I got my white savior.
Listen, man, you can be king and nonviolent. You can be X by any means necessary. They both got killed. And so I think that when you look at the juxtaposition, right? Like, you can be Tosa, where you like, we gonna be independent and do this thing, and like we gonna be cordial with them, but this is ours, and we're gonna do what we need to, and we're gonna be in competition. Or you can be the Osage and say, we're gonna fully welcome and integrate and even give our religion away and take theirs and do all this. You still gonna be wiped out. You know what I'm saying? But I think here's the difference. There was Tulsa was annihilated. Those black people's places was annihilated. Osage Nation still exists. Like they still, I know it might be whiter, but there is a tribe. There are people that still are the stewards over that money, that look over it, or whatever the case is. And I think that what the message is to people that are not black but are not white is that, listen, as long as you ain't them, like as long as you not them, if you know how to, if you gonna be with us, like this is, I used to live in Kentucky, bro. I used to live in Paducah, Kentucky. And there's a reason why poor white people look down on poor black people, even though the same government messing over everybody. Well, I might be poor and white, but I'm better than them. I'm better than them. And I think that you're going to be in for a rude awakening. But some people are okay with being better, being second to last, instead of just being last. And I think it's profound that those people, there's parts of that still exist. Whereas people from Tulsa, the last person, I think the last survivor member, I think just passed or whatever, or they're close to being at the end, but they just still trying to get recognition. They just still trying to be recognized and get an apology for what happened. We bombed our own people. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the same FBI that killed a bunch of black people, I just find it interesting that this was the precipice. This is what legitimized the Bureau of Investigation, where J. Edgar Hoover, who's mixed with black, by the way, and has his own issues and demons and skeletons in the closet, there's still a statue of that man at the Federal Bureau of Investigation. This kicked it off. What you gonna do, bro? This kicked it off. Right. So y'all got me way more passionate talking about this movie than I need to be. I need to act like a guest. Let me shut the hell up.
Hey, that's the
point of the show. That's the point of the show.
You're supposed to be heated.
We just said it's an excuse to get together to talk.
Yeah.
I know, man. It just was crazy, man.
My wife did not want to watch this. As soon as I turned it on and she seen the first 5 minutes, she was like, "Yeah, I don't want to watch this. I'm going to bed. You can tell me about it tomorrow." she already knew, but she would have got mad. So anyway, they hired a private investigator. He comes in. He's starting to unravel some things, and that didn't take long before he was knocked.
Yeah, because they all stupid. It's not a hard case to crack.
It's not hard to solve.
Right. Yeah. It's not like it was that difficult to intertwine.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wealth and independence only matters when you can protect it.
I was literally thinking that before he typed it. That was the difference in Tulsa and any other place. We've created other places: Africatown, Alabama, Charleston, Wilmington, North Carolina. All places around the country, but what we fail to do is say, and then if they come, we are going to, and that's the problem.
Thinking ahead, because Bill Hale was thinking 3 and 4 steps ahead. He was already down the street, and most of them were still there. All right. I want to talk about the insulin. What do y'all think that was insulin? I felt like it was initially, and then when he gave her the other pack, that was just to basically let her die slowly. But it seemed like it was helping initially, and then she couldn't get out of bed. Wilkes.
I don't know. I felt like they were probably shooting her up with the opium that they mentioned quickly, or whatever they may have dropped in that, or the dosage, because 1 minute it started out, oh yeah, it's insulin, yeah, it's from the, it came in from Canada. Then all of a sudden, we'll mask that, like I said, just keep upping the dosage or whatever they may have mixed it with. I don't know. I felt like they may have slipped some of that opium in there, and just to keep her, I don't know, on that verge of not talking. She can't fight back, and she'll just die slowly, and we'll move on, but
yeah. Scorsese had some of that opium that him and Vito agreed upon.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like she's the last one in the way. We get her out of the way. We can, we can bring this thing home.
We can complete the mission.
Yeah.
It was the wasting disease. So, like black people, the Osage folks suffer from diabetes. They suffer from being overweight and poor
diabetes,
eating habits. So I mean, that was historically correct. That was the time when insulin was being created. It was running through trials, I think, at that moment, and because they were so wealthy, they were able to
They
get
could
it
get
first. So it
Right.
was actual insulin, but they were also building in some other stuff. I think they was calling it was the wasting disease. Like it was like it was just doing some stuff to them slowly over time or whatever. But so I do, you know, it's funny, not funny, but it's like insulin. That was like the first trials of insulin, like on the market, and they got to have access to it because they wealth and privilege got it for them. But it was also a way to introduce a poison agent that was, you know, wiping out these people, like y'all said, before the age of 50, man. I mean, it was. I just never seen something. I just never seen a willing participation of like my own. Just anyway.
Yeah. And Molly, every member of her family basically was dying, and she made that same scream, that same agony. But it's like you're allowing it. You're not. You know, it is what it is.
They said he wants your money, girl. I know he want my money, but look at him. Look at him.
Yeah, but he handsome.
At that point, cuz listen, man. Hey, Trap, man. I don't think you should go talk to them, blood. I don't think you should kick it with them. Hey, but look at him. Yeah. You grown, bro. You grown. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, if you think about it, again, fast forward 60 years. That was 1980. I mean, 1920. Let's fast forward 60 years. Mm-hmm. And we had just come out of the 70s watching Nicky Barnes and that crew, and Frank Lucas and that crew, and Frank Matthews and that crew, and then Felix the Cat and Oakland and so forth and so on. And what did we do? We're not going to mess with heroin. We're going to start smoking crack.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's history repeating itself.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is why they're doing away with books now. This is why, this is history repeating itself time and time again. We continue to not study history. Oh, that's the old days. This will never happen. And then it happens. Oh, no, that's the old days. This will never happen. Then it happens. And this is the beginning of the old days. Because think about it, man. We've said it time and time again. These people they started kicking them in the head before they was kicking us in the head on this continent. Depending upon which way you want to look at it. Because some people say that, but that's a whole nother conversation. But they the original kicked in the head, and then it's so many parallels to our community. You look at the diabetes, and then what triggered the diabetes? The transition of your diet to the Euro diet. Yeah. What triggers the diabetes in our family? The transitions from our diet to Euro diet. It's the same thing over and over and over. First thing she asked him, "What's your religion?" That was the most shocking line in the entire movie, if you ask me. "What's your religion?" He said, "Catholic." And she said, "Why don't you go to church?" And I literally said, "Why are you going to church?" You know? It's like, wait a minute. Why are you at church?
Right.
And I go to church. But it was still like, so it's just this assimilation to the dark side, so to speak. And then you fall, and then like y'all said, what was the name of it? It was called the diabetes, the disease of what?
It was the wasting disease.
Oh, the wasting disease. Okay, let's fast forward 40 years after that, right? What were they calling diabetes in the 60s and the 70s? Consumption. There's so many parallels in this thing to our community. And the way, that's why I'm starting to wonder, because Scorsese just putting white folks on blast in this, man.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Right, Italians.
I mean, when you Italian, you got some, there's some pent up stuff. I mean, the history of the Italians becoming white is actually interesting, right? It was actually, it was a cultural exchange for people that don't know. In the negotiation, right? Because when the Irish came, the Irish got treated crazy, and so did the Italians, right? Which is how you built the mafia. But it was the Bank of America used to be Bank of Italy, so they had to change that. And then in exchange, that's part of the reason why you learn so much about Christopher Columbus. So we might be like, we don't rock with Christopher Columbus. I live I grew up in Oakland, but I'm in the Chicago area. When they wanted to remove Christopher Columbus's statue, them Italians was very, hey, we don't come to the South Side touching nothing. Don't touch our guy, right? Like that's their person. So, you know, I mean, there was an exchange that happened. I will say this, and I hope I don't get canceled from y'all show and not ever asked to come back. I just look at Molly and Ernest as the first Blueface and Krishan, and I don't want to hear from none of them no more. I just gotta let people be adults. I don't know what you want me to do.
Right. Yeah, I'm not babysitting.
I'm not babysitting her face tattoo with his face, man.
Come on, man. Oh.
What's worse? Wasting disease. Let's just look at facts. Just look at facts.
Right.
Girl, get away from him.
That's the first time they ever been mentioned on this show.
I'm leaving. I'm leaving. All right. Only reason I saw it because y'all got to see it too. I got them blocked on Twitter. I don't want to hear their name, but apparently the girl just got his face tattooed on the side of her face. At this point, I gotta let you be an adult, man. I gotta go on with my life. And if Molly loves this dumbass Ernest, I'm sorry, y'all. I don't. If the sister dies off of these suspicious things, and the other sister, he didn't go holler at the other sister. The other sister was ready, son. Like her blood sister. Like, what are we talking about?
Right.
At that point, I got an exit stage left, and I gotta mind my black business. Oh, this is not this. I just ain't into this. I just gotta go. Y'all gonna have to just do what y'all gotta do. This whole city is a trap house. Let me get out the trap.
Right.
And a perfect parallel, Krishan had a baby with this guy who doesn't care about you, who would rather you just live on the street if all he cared. And Molly ends up having a baby. And to your point, Charles, you mentioned earlier, when they were like, "Yeah, we're pregnant," and Bill looks over to him like, "You dummy." He looked like, "I'm not happy at all, you dummy, you idiot."
Yeah. That's not how it's supposed
to plan, man. It's not how it's supposed to go, man.
Right, because not a baby is entitled to it.
Well, that's the thing. Then you got to kill. So for people that didn't watch the movie, that was the other cat. So remember the other cat that came in and married. The next thing he was gonna do was he was gonna kill her, and then he adopted the kids, and then he was gonna kill the kids. Yeah. But they caught him before he could do it. Right. So I mean, but Bill did work it though, Ben. Bill worked it, Ben. He worked it and said, "Well, actually, that might give you more stake because you are their biological father." Like, listen, Bill was the one thinking. Bill was putting chess pieces on the board, but he was just like, I can't believe how stupid. Like, right. You are an idiot. That's why they was like, our lawyer. I'm his lawyer. You my lawyer? Okay. In the court, this is where when people be like, "What's systemic racism?" Systemic racism is when we got you dead to rights and we stop everything so opposing counsel can have intimate alone time and bring all the white people from the United States to meet with you in a cabal and tell you that you didn't understand that the way you understood it. You didn't.
Yeah, and you're about to affect your uncle.
These niggas is stupid.
Your uncle's gonna be hurt if you do this. Like,
need you to be quiet.
Yeah, man.
And she met him. They got the little car meet. It's cute. They hug. They embrace. Liddy Gladstone. All this. Yeah. Woo, woo, woo. Hey, baby, I'm back. This is crazy, but I'm riding with you. Hey, one last question. What did you know that I was like that they was giving me poison? Did you?
Right.
That's what it took for you to be like deuces. That's what it took.
I was just waiting on her to slap him. Especially when they had that car meeting, I'm like, at this point, you got to just slap this dude and move on with your life. And she was like, "No, I still love you."
I need that type of love. I would be married right now if somebody loved me half as much as Molly loves Ernest.
But you blocked him on Twitter. You just seen an example.
Krishan is that woman. She can get your face tattooed on the other side, man.
I mean, he trying to get that Krishan money in the same way Ernest was trying to get that Molly money.
Get that guap, baby.
Yeah. Golden said, "What is that movie? If she dies, she dies."
Oh, that's Rocky 4, baby. That's
Rocky. He dies. Yeah.
That's Rocky. That's one of the most famous lines of all time.
Yeah. Hey,
I like movies, y'all. I'm sorry.
Side note: there's a documentary on Sylvester Stallone. I think it's still on Netflix.
Really good.
It is a must. It is a must watch. You get to learn about how he even got into Rocky. That's a side note, but you got to watch that if you're a Stallone fan.
Did they cover that movie? He was Johnny Salami. No, that's the character one. Is
Johnny Salami. No, I don't remember that.
I don't remember them. I don't remember that. I don't think they covered
the movie before. It's Prince.
Oh
Paradise,
yeah, they did.
Paradise Alley.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? What's his name was in there too? Henry Winkler.
Yeah, Henry Winkler was in there too.
Yeah, Paradise Alley. His name is Johnny Salami in there.
Yeah,
they talked about that one briefly. Yeah,
it's crazy, man. Crazy.
Because something about like, oh man, because they even showed the scene where he like spent too much money on this watch. This guy was trying to get him to buy this watch, and he's like, man, I don't have that kind of money. Like, look at me.
Let me look it up now. Make sure I didn't make that up. But I'm almost sure this dude's name is Johnny Salami.
Henry Winkler's in the movie.
Yeah,
it reminded me of a John Travolta movie, but I don't know if his name was Johnny Salami, but
Paradise Alley, I think that's his name.
Yeah. No, that's what it was called. I remember them saying that. Yeah,
he said it wasn't a great role, but he took it.
I mean, because he couldn't get anything.
He couldn't get.
And that's how we end up writing Rocky and Rambo and all, because he couldn't get nothing, so he had to write his own.
Remember, they tried to pay him off. Like, do we just want the movie? We don't.
Right.
We don't want you.
We don't even want you. We just
give us the movie.
Give us the movie.
Yeah.
You can move out of the way. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's crazy, bro. Like, I mean, I don't know. That was Molly, man. Molly's just a lover of love, dog. Because she was married to Henry first.
It's Salami.
She married Henry first. Then she married the Ernest Cat, and then I think I was trying to look up if her last husband was. I think he was actually Osage. I think she finally went back to her own.
I couldn't find it, but okay.
It was her first husband, because remember he had the $25,000.
No, it was two. Because after she divorced Ernest, she remarried again. His name is John Cobb. I think he's Osage. I think he was Osage Nation. No, but I don't know, bro. She liked what she liked, apparently.
Man,
I don't know.
Henry was heartbroken.
She said, if it ain't white, it ain't right, baby.
Hey, man, Henry was that dude that was on Maury or something and found out he wasn't a father, man. Henry was ready to risk it all for his wife. But
not like this.
He ended up getting murked too.
Yeah, bro.
And with about the dumbest, Ernest hired another dummy.
Oh, that was a comic relief. Like, I'm like, this turned into slapstick comedy.
Oh yeah, no,
he said, shoot him right here, and he said, "Yeah, I shot him in the back of his head." It was like
definitely had some nods to Smokey and the Bandit. It had nods to those comedy, that slapstick comedy, especially that one part where he was like, "You sit down, no, you sit down, you stay right here, don't move." That's just that banter right there. You can tell
that was
just
good.
Like a nod
to
those different comedies and heist movies and stuff like that. So yeah, no, I enjoyed that.
Wilkes, I don't want to give Scorsese too much credit, and H and Ben, I don't want to give him too much credit. But I will float this theory. I will float this hypothesis because I don't have enough to call it a theory. I will say I feel as if Scorsese was trying to portray these white people in the ways that black people were stereotyped, like lazy, like, just baby making, oversexed, idiots, like buffoons. And it felt like a vaudeville, like a blackface, almost like Court on the face kind of performance. I don't want it. Like, if Scorsese did that, I would love to talk to him and shake his hand. And maybe it's my blackness that's putting it, but that they were the embodiment of these black stereotypes.
Absolutely. That's why I said what I said earlier. You go get you and two other Italian dudes make this movie. Nah, that was purpose. And I want you to keep this in mind, just to confirm what you're saying, Charles. Scorsese said about a year ago, after 70 years of doing this, I finally see how powerful making movies is. Mm-hmm. So if you make that statement and then make this movie, that's exactly what you were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. 100%. 100%.
Well, you know, one of the first people that he showed the movie to, right? That he screened it for? Spike Lee. Well, him and Spike Lee are really good friends. So Spike was one of the first people he showed it to, you know, because they both New York boys, right? One is like, you know, one is from Brooklyn. Yeah, you know, Scorsese is from where he's from. So I just thought I made that connection. I'm like, because it just felt so like they lived in those stereotypes. But again, I mean, but the movie was beautifully shot. I mean, again, like it's hard, right? Because people get their emotions wrapped up in stuff like this. So I'm trying to be sensitive on some level, but you know, I also want to acknowledge, like, even though it's dealing with this very tough historical moment in United States history, which people should know about because I think it tells you a lot. Like, it was a beautifully shot movie. I mean, Scorsese is a master of his craft, and how old he's like 80 years old. Like, he's still commanding and doing these type of movies. It's crazy. Like, I just feel like if I'm 80 with that type of money, you gonna find me with a cigar somewhere. Like, I'm not doing this. I don't.
I don't need to.
I don't want to look at dailies every day, bro. I don't know if that's what I want to do in my life.
Yeah, I mean, well, Tony Bennett did it until he couldn't do it anymore. So
I think Spike gonna do it till he can't no more either. I think this is what you love is what you love. And I think that they're friends and they came up in this stuff. But I thought, I mean, I understand why there's, you know, a lot of recognition for it. I understand why I got a lot of award buzz. I do think that Lily Gladstone from here on is gonna shoot just way up. I mean, because even in what we described, there was a way that this woman made you feel when she was on camera. When she was in the scene, she stole every scene. And I mean, she's not going up against people that just started acting. This is Robert De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio. And I mean, for her to shine like that, I think the Anna girl can actually do well. And the mother has already been in stuff. I mean, you know, they all get typecast for native roles, right? But like, you know, I think the mother was just an Echo. I think a few of them played in Reservation Dogs or whatnot. Yeah. So I mean, look, man, I think there's a lot to be learned there. I think the movie should be in schools. You know, Oppenheimer kind of put some scenes in there that made it hard to show in schools, but I think that this ugly part of history is still history, and it's still a part of what's happening here. You know what I'm saying? So
and it needs to be told. Like, these type of stories need to be told because, like A-Trap said, it's going to force you to want to look this up and see, okay, what happened? When did this happen compared to what happened in Tulsa? Like, this is, and so I commend Scorsese for doing this because this is, no matter how old it is, it's still history.
What I would say is, show both of them, even Oppenheimer, because look, our children. I mean,
I like Oppenheimer too.
That was a masterpiece. Yeah.
I'm not saying that you need to be showing Oppenheimer in kindergarten or anything, but when you, like, in middle school, when you about 11, 12 years old, you can handle Oppenheimer if you're watching TV every day. And this, if you want people, if the goal is, you know, the fictitious goal that they always present to us is unity across the board. If you want people to have empathy and understand the struggle of people who have been enslaved and people who have been genocided and attempted genocide, you show this movie everywhere. You show Oppenheimer, you show this movie, you show you make a movie about the uprising, you know, hell, you could just make a movie about the Reconstruction. Because that's when the Klan showed up at Reconstruction. People act like the Klan was there the whole time. The Klan showed up at Reconstruction. So you show all these things and let people understand the oppression across the board. And then, it's gonna be some white people that's gonna be butthurt, but hey, deal with it.
Well, Rap, I was saying more for the because they had the sex scene in Oppenheimer. They had the. You can make that, you can edit that out pretty easily.
Edit it out,
but I'm just saying that was the one thing, because I think people were getting on him like, wow, he was like, it's my movie, I don't care about you. Like, I'm making the movie that I want to make. But yeah, I liked Oppenheimer. I need to go back and watch y'all's episode on that. I really.
No, we didn't do it. We
haven't done that. Yeah.
Oh, I will.
We traditionally do movies, as Ben said. We traditionally do
black people. Yeah.
And and when we did this, that's why I had to type in the comments. We doing it different this week. But I felt like this was definitely a movie that we already pointed out multiple parallels to our community. So Yeah. So the ending. Let's talk about the ending before we close this out. That was another comical relief right there. I loved it because I felt like it was funny. It had some like Dateline. It was like a Dateline during that time, basically telling the story of what happened. And then Scorsese coming up at the end. I felt like that was a beautiful touch to it. A-Trap, thoughts on the ending?
I mean, it was acquiesce. This is, it comes to a point, and then you had to end it at some point. And Charles mentioned Spike Lee. This is the difference in Scorsese and Spike Lee. Spike Lee would have had this movie about 6 hours long. Spike Lee does not know how to end the movie. Scorsese knows how to end the movie. But I appreciated the ending. It came to a point, and he was like, he could have kept going. This could have been a 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 or 11. I appreciated it, and I was shocked to see him, but it was.
Yeah, I mean, you could have did this in parts. You could have made this a series.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's what I thought it was when I first saw it on Apple TV. The trailer, I was thinking, oh, it's probably like 4 episodes, 6 episodes, but then I realized it was a 1,000-hour movie. So I was just like,
Now, did you?
You only got 90 minutes once you see.
Yeah, let me ask you, did y'all watch this in one sitting, or did you watch it? Did y'all split it up?
Oh, I watched
it in one sitting.
I watched it all last night after the 49ers game.
Oh, really?
I mean, I was thinking like, all right, if I end up
falling asleep,
if I end up falling asleep, I'll just watch it. But it was captivating. It's not.
Are you a Niner fan?
I am.
Oh, Wilkes is. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, yeah, I'm not a Niner fan, but I was gonna say it'd be rough because after watching that, but nah, man, I would say about the ending. I don't know if y'all seen American Fiction. It actually kind of they have similar.
We will be watching that. Yeah,
it's kind of interesting. I don't want to, that doesn't spoil anything in American Fiction, but I do think he was just like, I mean, look, man, when you get towards the end of your life, you start thinking about stuff. You start trying to, and I think he wanted to have some. Him putting himself in there, kind of talking about what happened and doing it. I think he wanted to land with people. I think that's why he called Spike in. I think he wanted to be like, is this hitting? Like the way you ended Malcolm X, does this feel like, it's kind of going there? Is this going to change things? And I like I said, I will end like this. I will give, and I know Scorsese still got a lot of backlash because he did portray it as a love story. He did portray as if you take the film as a film, he did make that case. And I know some Osage and some other people were saying like that can't be love, like you said, Rap. But I will just say outside of that, I do think he took an unflinching look at just the like. I mean, this is it's evil. Like it's evil. It's the evilness of like, I'm going to marry these people and kill them from the inside. Like I'm going to procreate with them. I'm going to make babies with them. I'm going to poison their bloodline, and I'm going to take everything with me. I mean, it shows you what people can do and what humans are capable of. So, he didn't flinch on it, and I appreciate that he didn't.
Yeah, definitely. Wilkes.
Yeah, I like how it ended. I like that he kind of integrated himself into that and just kind of, gave that insight in that last snippet of information. I mean, I enjoyed the movie. Of course, for me, it's not just the story. I mean, I love the 4K, HDR, 10, all that aspect, and Dolby Atmos. I'm there with it. So, one thing that always draws me to Christopher Nolan movies, he's going to give you that IMAX. He's going to give you all that. And I need to finish Oppenheimer, but I don't think I'm giving it any justice by watching it on the Xbox. I think I need to buy a separate Blu-ray player for that one. Yeah. I hate that I missed it in IMAX, but this movie, I enjoyed it. I mean, just even because of the historical facts. I mean, I knew it was going to be something of a tragic story, but I like the historical deliveries. And I mean, all these names under one roof, some big big actors in it. Leonardo actually said he wasn't going to do an interview without having her with him. So it's like, but she was like and he wanted her to like take the lead in the interviews. So he's definitely pushing her to the forefront and putting her out there. So I enjoyed the movie. I'd watch it again. I like it. I wouldn't mind having a hard copy of it. I know everything's on streaming service now, but
Yeah.
if they ever released a steel book or hard copy, I go for it.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
We've come to the point where we don't have movie collections anymore.
Yeah.
I still love mine. I'm hanging on to it.
Hey,
No,
my
I'm not saying
parents-
I'm not, but I'm just saying it's like
Everything's
right.
still streaming now. But
to this
yeah,
came out.
a big shout out to Hulu, which Hulu got back into doing. I think Prey was the first one that they released on DVD, a hard copy steelbook. But of course, Best Buy is not selling DVDs any longer, so you have to turn to places like Movie Trading Company or eBay. But I like that somebody was releasing a hard copy. On Amazon.
Amazon would be another place. Yeah. All right. So normally, what we do at the end of the show, Charles, we come to you last. We give it a mic rating. So 1 to 5. 5 being the best, 1 being the absolute worst. And we any other final thoughts? So we'll start with A-Trap first.
Oh well, I'm gonna give it a 5, man. I enjoyed it. The historical context, the storytelling. I saw the love interest that you got, the love aspect, but I just like the people. I just didn't see it as I didn't see it as love. I thought it was just an opportunistic chance to get paid because he was a bum, So
he was a thug.
Right.
Exactly. He was a savage. He's
a savage, yeah, exactly. But I enjoyed every moment of it, and this was, you could tell when a movie's great when it's 3 hours and some change, and you look up and say, "Oh, it's over." So that's why I gave it a perfect 5.
Yeah. Well,
I have to give it a 5, and it's from historic delivery for me. I mean, I just love these stories, whether they be tragic or they don't dive or delve into those things. But no, I enjoyed it. It was great. Like I said, I'd watch it again. I know it's long, but man, I'd get right back in there again. Just something I didn't miss. I will say this: the death scene really was awesome to me when the mom passed, and they were there. Pretty much, the ancestors were pretty much there to collect her. That was pretty dope. I enjoyed that. So I give it a 5.
Yeah, and for me, I knew to A-Trap's point, it was long, but when you watched it, and at the end, you're like, wow, that was a masterpiece. Just the intricate details of it, the characters. When you got De Niro and DiCaprio, it's going to be high quality. It's not going to be a trash movie. And Lily Gladstone played that character well. So I'm gonna give it a 5 too. I felt like it was done well, and it was a quality movie. So
I really ain't gonna get invited back, but it was being fun. I loved it. I loved the movie, but I'm gonna give it a 4. And when I'm thinking of 5, I'm thinking of Do the Right Thing for me as a 5. Coming to America, Godfather. Like I just like it's just like the last 15 minutes of Godfather is some of the best cinema I've ever. It's just it's gorgeous. I don't know what else to. I think
he don't come back. He got my seat.
Yeah, I mean,
you definitely coming back.
Oh man, I appreciate it, but I would give it a 4. I think it was a really, really good movie, and I mean, a 4 is really good. I think Oppenheimer would probably get a 4.25 or 4.5 for me. So I think it was, it was epic. It was long. I like that it didn't flinch. I think it actually had a lot of commentary on Black America and what was happening at the time. If you looked at it, if you looked for it, and I think that by him I'm gonna give it a 4.25 because he didn't take out the Klan. He didn't take out that reference to Tulsa. He didn't and I think he was, and I think he was juxtaposing and showing you who real thugs were or who real savages were. The things that these white folks profess to be afraid of, they were much worse than whatever incarnate they could put in their head, right? So you know, and it's Scorsese, man. I'm also at the point, I'm older now. We're not gonna have these people for too much longer, man. We're not gonna have Scorsese or you know, or like these, you know, so I appreciate that he still did this as a labor of love. But yeah, I enjoyed it, but I give y'all a 5 and thank y'all for having me. This was really fun. And I know I talked my ass off, so sorry.
You
the
good,
whole
man.
point. That's the whole point. That's the goal, man. That's the goal. We need you to talk.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, you know, our guests will just sit back and listen to us.
I really love movies, man. Let me tell you how much I love them. I love movies so much. Like, there's a bunch of reasons why I'm buying the Apple Vision Pro, because I like tech and I like that stuff. But the first thing I'm doing is watching like Avengers Endgame again, or like, you know, certain things like Avatar. Avatar is a decent movie, but the immersion of it, like, I gotta watch this on the Vision Pro, right? So, you know, that's how much I love movies. I have a theater in my crib
for life for me. I'm tired of people, you just made a friend for life for me. I'm tired of people telling me how great Avatar is. It was just decent to me. I'm with you, man. It was cool.
I mean, I love the movie. The storytelling is it's decent. It's fine. It's not bad. But I like the technology and the immersion. Like, listen, there's a reason why that man makes the most expensive, biggest all-time movie. Titanic, Avatar. I mean, you look at the top 5 selling movies of all time, he's in there 4 times. Like, so I appreciate that. The story is, we could have wrote the story, but I do want to be immersed in that world. And with the Vision Pro, y'all got to invite me back. I'm gonna come on with that thing on, because I am a child. I am a child. So yes.
Big Illinois said, I want the Apple Pro for the 3D Disney.
You sound like me, man. We Big Illinois 73. We are in the same boat, brother.
Hey, so y'all got this year. A-Trap, you need to get Big Illinois and Charles. Y'all need to get together, man. I got to get together.
We don't want to hang with Big Illinois, though.
Yeah. All right. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. At the end of the show, so A-Trap does a show on Tuesday. Charles, you do a show on Tuesday as well. So I'll just kind of go to you guys what the show is going to be about tomorrow. So Charles, what's going to be on South Star Classroom tomorrow?
Yeah, man, South Star Classroom. So South Star Classroom is just where we do a bunch around education. We say come for the conversation, lead with tools. I'm not producing tomorrow's show. We tend to do it in a rotation. It's 4 of us. So but I'm looking forward to it. I think we're covering like SAT. It's usually education stuff and how that's impacting the community. But you can catch that every Tuesday right here on the BS3 network. And that's at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. But I'm really, really happy to be here. And if you want to find me, you can go to charlescode3rd.com or on Twitter at @ccode3rd. I am not on the Facebooks and the Instagrams and stuff no more. I'm trying to leave social media, but the team said I got to keep one. So Twitter and YouTube is. So, but again, thank you so much. And pass it to the rest of you cats.
Yep. A-Trap, end of the bench.
Well, building story tomorrow. You know, I usually have 3 topics, and to be honest with you, I only have 1 topic prepared. I had a tumultuous weekend, and it's, you know, unlike most times, this one sidetracked me big time. Moms for Liberty is the group that has been going nationwide banning books. They've banned over 2,200 books about Dr. King, books about I'm not in a good space today, but it's this one thing about creating your own education tools. And one of the websites is legacyinstitute.st.org. And I'm going to put it on the screen tomorrow. And it's talking about civics, it's talking about finance, it's talking about a whole bunch of things. So when we got people like Moms for Liberty out there attempting to get rid of Zora Hurston and Dr. King and James Baldwin and things like that, this is how we combat it. If they, you know, you got 13 women who have literally, I'm not being figurative. They have 13 women who have helped eliminate 2,200 books from academic libraries, just because they have gay characters or trans characters, or they even mention gay, and they galvanized the black ministers in Florida, and had them do away with AP Black History. So when we have a force like that, what we have to do is combat it and have people go into these, like you offering up 10% of your earnings when you go to church every week. So start telling these pastors, hey, you're gonna either do a Black History Saturday, or we're gonna start giving 7% of our money and giving out some of our money to somebody who's gonna do this. So that's one of the things. And I apologize, but again, this weekend, it took me out, man. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. This was a unique weekend, and I had, I don't have anything after that. I have notes that I didn't use over other shows over the last 3 or 4 months. I'm just gonna piecemeal the show together. I assume it's still gonna be quality, because I do my best, because my whole job is like the title of the show, building a story, building the community story that lies in the propaganda around the community. But this weekend was just, it was something.
Hey, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it in the background if you want to.
Yeah, we can talk about it in the background.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
So I'm still not right, but I'll be right in a few days. I'll be right. But this weekend did me in, man. So I almost didn't go to church yesterday. So
yeah. Well, I mean, we appreciate you for still coming on, because you could have easily said, "Look, I can't."
No,
do it.
this is my therapy. I was telling Mo today. Me and Mo talked. He called me, and I was just like, "Man, I don't feel like doing nothing, but I'm gonna do it, because this was gonna be the hour or 90 minutes that I wasn't gonna think about it." And man, thank you, Charles. Thank you, Wilkes. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, people in the chat room, because
Absolutely.
Yeah, we here for you.
Yeah, appreciate you, bro. But
Absolutely.
All right, let's get to these last comments. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you and your comments. Ready Care with the jokes. She said, "I don't have that Apple Pro bag, so I'm looking at Tubi Pro." That Tubi Pro ain't dropping, man.
Put the TV real close to your
tell
face.
you, man. Sorry to tell you, man. Hey,
Pro,
you got your boy, Mr. David.
The hit co-host of the South Star Classrooms, been holding it down, man. And I so appreciate him, man. And so I'm glad he was able to make it in here.
Yeah, appreciate you. All right, y'all.
Always.
We will not be back. We won't be back next week. Next week, BSU Network will be at the Super Bowl in Vegas for Super Bowl week. So,
and man, me and Wilkes doing it next week. We don't need
y'all can do the show. Yeah,
we're gonna do the show.
Yeah, I'll come back. It's a week off. What you mean?
Okay, go ahead. No.
I'm saying it's a week in between, right? You going on an off week?
Oh, you're right. We'll be back next week. My bad. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Hey, Wilkes, me and Wilkes and Charles gonna do it. We don't need you.
Yeah, man, get out of here, man.
Y'all got control of the stream, y'all, man. Go ahead.
That's right.
But man, Charles, for real, thank you for coming on.
Man, this was fun, man. I get to nerd out. I mean, and I love my education stuff. I'm always do it, but just to be able to the stuff that I have fun at and just being able to nerd out and go there, man. I'm with it. If you got a tech show on here, I'll go on that one too. But I had a really good time. Ben, I've known you since forever, but Wilkes and H Rap B and praying for you, B. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I could hear you, I could hear your spirit, man. So prayers to you, but this was just really fun, and I just needed the fun. So anytime y'all give me a few days to make sure I've seen a movie, I will always love to fill in if I can. So that's fine.
All right, we'll definitely hit you up.
Definitely.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Appreciate all the comments, all the love tonight. We had a couple of thumbs up and hearts on Facebook. Raphael Haynes, Jonathan Maloney, you know that person looks. Darrell Owens, Sonny Cole, Anthony Lansdowne, that's big Illinois. Genevieve and Eric Butler. So we appreciate you guys coming through. And we'll be back better than ever next week. And we'll see you when we see you.
We can do Pootie Tang next week.
I don't know, Charles. I don't know, Charles, want to do that.
Hey, Sapate, brother. Yeah, I'm with you, B. It's all
Hey,
good.
hey, go ahead. I won't be here.
On the
I can
tippy
definitely do that.
See, I told y'all. Real.
There you go. This is the perfect. Hey, this is the perfect time to do
was
it
an
too.
early rider on that, man. There's brilliance in Pootie Tang. You
There
gotta
you go,
watch
man.
that time, brother.
You say you and Dalton, I'm finna drive out there and we gonna have a beer, Jack.
I'm with it. I'll host one. I'll do a showing in my little theater. It's nothing. We can do it from there.
See, this my type of this.
Ben, you ain't
There you
seen
go.
Pootie Tang. That's why you talking about Pootie Tang like that. Because you ain't
Hey,
seen
man, preach, brother.
Hey, I'll watch it. I'll watch it next Monday. Yeah. But anyway, all right. We see y'all.
That's what I'm talking about.